23dB Production Studios in the Garden State, New Jersey, this is The Art of Music Tech with your hosts, Fela and Denis.
Let's go, and welcome to The Art of Music Tech. Thank you for listening via YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio. I'm your host, Fela, and over there is Denis.
Hi, everybody.
All right, and we're back again with part 2 of the SoundBridge founder, Wake Anderson. Hello, Wake.
Hello, guys.
All right. On this half, we want to get more into where you're from. So let's your beginning background.
Yep. So I was born in Jacksonville, Florida. Spent very brief time there. I mean, I was just born there. That's where all my family's from. But we were actually living in Georgia. At the time. So I've lived in Florida, Georgia, Missouri. But I like to say I'm from Maine because that's where I went to high school, and that's where I got my first guitar, and I started taking guitar seriously and all of that. My dad worked in the biotech industry as just a consultant, and he would just get 1 to 2 year contracts, and then we'd have to move to a new state. So moved around a lot of places growing up. But when we got to Maine, I went to a school and I befriended a kid called Alex Wilbur, and I was into Blink-182 and like some of the pop punk stuff around this age. Like I must have been like 10 years old at the time. Mm-hmm. And his dad had a band that a heavy metal band that was they were obsessed with Van Halen and stuff. But little did we know what the name meant, but the name of the band was called Beef Curtains. And if I look at the album cover now, it was clearly a tribal vagina. And it was awesome. And his dad, his parents got his brother, he got him an awesome drum kit, and then his dad obviously got his older brother a good guitar, and we were just playing a lot of heavy metal, into like stuff like Hatebreed, Slipknot in the beginning, but then bands like
At the age of 10?
Yeah. Well,
heavy metal. Let's go.
The first time I ever fell in love with music, I was age 5.
Okay.
And it was due to the Mortal Kombat soundtrack. Which was a Psytrance song. Yeah. Which was it's funny how this stuff works out, right?
It's so funny. Yeah.
It was hot back then.
Yo, man, it was awesome.
And now you're doing stuff that works with it.
Yeah,
that's
and now we're embraced by the Psytrance because it's like, what's happened.
Okay, now we see the...
No, but that was crazy. Yeah, no, I was in Georgia, and I must have been 5 years old, and there's a restaurant called the Golden Buddha. And I befriended the son of the owners, and they used to give us free poo-poo platters, and I used to hang out and like go either. And he was like a year younger than me, and I went over to his house, and his parents did not care what he played. They got him a Sega Genesis and Mortal Kombat. And then I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. Like the bloodiest game. I was like age 5, right?
Damn.
And then the movie came out.
Yes.
And then I was like, Mom, Dad. And they're like, okay with it. And then like when I heard that theme song, I was like, oh my God, I just wanted to play fight my dad for hours. That was the first time and then I got they got me the different soundtracks to it, and then like by age 6 I was listening to like Typo Negative, Bjork, Orbital.
Six?
I was like 6. I think Bjork was on the. No, it might not have been Bjork, but I was exposed to a lot. Orbital. I might be confused with like Orbital, but Hessel On and On from Orbital.
Orbital was big too.
In the Mortal Kombat soundtrack, and I know Typo Negative and some other metal bands and stuff, but. Yeah, I definitely was into like the rave music by like age 5 or 6, and like play fighting my dad to it.
Playing heavy metal at age of 10.
I liked rhythmic melodic music, and then of course being 5 or 6, the others around the time the Backstreet Boys and all that came out, and I listened to that stuff too.
Spice Girls.
Yeah, a lot of guys won't remember, but hell, I had I was in the Mortal Kombat. I had a punching bag and a boombox, and just play melodic, rhythmic music and kick the shit out of the punching bag all day.
Good recipe.
You know what I mean? Like,
Good combo.
Yeah. I I mean, goodness gracious. Yeah, they say that video games don't help. You've done a whole career out of some music that
I never,
help, you know.
I never liked the. Oh, here's the thing about the video games that we grew up with. They were hard. They were hard as shit, and you actually didn't want to play them for very long.
I know,
because,
right?
Like, you know what I
I'm
mean?
done.
And you know what I mean? Like, so the video games were, nowadays I feel like they're just coddling the kids to get them addicted. It's like, I feel like modern video games is just like a virtual fashion show. It's like you got to keep playing and playing and playing to get the clothes that have the gear, and it's just a virtual fashion show at the end of the day.
And too pretty.
It's
right?
too pretty.
Too pretty.
On my pretty virtual character, right?
Exactly.
My character is prettier than yours. Look at my armor, bro.
You know how long it take me to get this?
How many times you played Diablo? Like 5,000, like to get some clothes on your character.
Exactly.
It's a fashion show. It's a virtual fashion show. That's all it is.
Yeah. So from that era and that thought process of music and learning it and finding out what you liked, and to now with like SoundBridge Academy. How, was this something you wish yourself would have had at 16? Like, man, like
at 10,
yeah, in your
6?
case, 10,
yeah,
like,
yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, but like when I was growing up, like computers just were not as powerful and stuff. So like, of course, if I grew up now and like everyone had like an i7 and stuff, of course, SoundBridge Academy is like, amazing to have. So SoundBridge Academy started. So, we when we created Lumit, we obviously went to NAMM and we got introduced. We went out to Guitar Center's headquarters and we met with the head purchaser of sales at Guitar Center, and they were willing to carry our product, at a price point of like $150, and it was just too soon, I mean, like there's free copies of Ableton, demo copies that had more functionality than us at the time, and we're obviously like in a hyper competitive market. And just to roll out with $150 we thought would kill our traction. So instead of, I think all tech startups, especially when you're in the software industry, you got to think of traction. And if anyone's interested in building a software startup, you have to read the book, Traction, How Any Startup Can Achieve Explosive Sales Growth. This is written by the CEO of DuckDuckGo, which is a search engine that prides itself off of privacy and not tracking you. But they have millions of users. But they compete with Google. But I learned so much from that book. But when you have a brand new software, and especially something that's in a hyper competitive market, you have to stage the process of when you're actually going to monetize. And nowadays, you have to monetize in very unconventional ways, and you can't be fishing in the same pond that everyone else is fishing. You will just end up, behind everyone that's already been there, essentially, right? So essentially we were about to launch with Guitar Center, and then at the very moment we pivot to SoundBridge and we said we're going to give it all away for free. And this was after we were already in the Mass Challenge Accelerator. We had talked with some mentors, and we all thought that this was the best move. We're like, we rather have 100,000 users and no sales than no sales and no users.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Kills the business, period.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, so SoundBridge prides itself off being a free software, and according to the book that I'm reading, Traction, this is called marketing as engineering. It's you build a free software, you build a free tool to find, highly targeted users online for a specific product or service sector. And our users are highly, highly targeted, and we find these people primarily through organic search. 80% of our users find us purely through organic search, and that's because they're finding our blog articles at the top of Google when they search for things like FET compressor, low pass filter. We have built essentially a huge database of knowledge. So SoundBridge has morphed into more than a music software company. We are now a all-inclusive music production powerhouse, providing all the educational requirements, the real-world experience and knowledge, the software, and we're building a much larger entity than just software alone. A lot of our competitors, we think have put all their eggs into one basket with one-time purchases and dongles. So we we were trying to do something.
I
a little
don't like
bit more,
eye locks.
Yeah.
you know.
Bane of our existence.
And a lot of people complain about the subscription model because at the end of the day, you end up, never owning it. And I think the price points for subscribe to rent, I think the price points for something like Serum are already low enough. I think anyone can afford Serum. It's just
What is it, 20, 15 a month?
Yeah, on Splice. Yeah, I think it's like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's $200. You're gonna get the modern sounds immediately out of the damn thing, and you can buy like their weapons of choice like preset and power bank. I think it's all very reasonably priced stuff, and like just having that software will get you the sounds you need to be
Serum
competitive.
is pretty powerful. I like it.
It's a very, very good sounding thing, and Expert Records makes very practical. I love Expert Records, and they make very practical software that's made for today's electronic music, and it's easy and intuitive to learn, and there's not a lot of clutter in the interfaces, which makes it super elegant and a super clean experience to use. So like I said, like I touched up in part one, like a lot of our competitors have been competing off. I have 203 features. No, but we have 204 features. And we have like 5,000 samples, 20,000 instruments, this and that. So SoundBridge has took an unconventional way of differentiating itself off pure simplicity, and as a way to kind of make up for our lack of sales, we decided to open SoundBridge Academy because we have already been embraced by the psytrance community. Our company is made up 100% of successful real-world psytrance DJs and producers that have been around the world playing psytrance. We work with Freak Frequency, Misha Jarek, who's been around. If you listen to psytrance, he's been around since 2003. He's played all over the world: Japan, Mexico, Brazil, everywhere. We work with Goran Toprak, who is now a Modern 8, who has Asterix over to his house and cooks mac and cheese for him, and they jam and they make music. They're all good friends, all right? They're all very good friends. And I just got back from Portugal, and we were at the Insomnia Electronic Festival, and we were up in the hotel with the promoters and stuff, just having a blast, and was able to bring my GoPro and get backstage and get them some good footage to help them promote their band and stuff. But they're all connected to pretty much everyone doing everything from major ghost production from Warner Brother Records to people making the top sample packs for Sennheiser and a lot of the stuff that
Sennheiser.
I
know them through Massive.
Yeah. So all those people and Terrasac Records. So psytrance community has really opened their arms to us. I mean, it's an underground music, so everyone that's working in music professionally has multiple jobs. Let's face it.
Oh yeah.
So in addition to DJing, and they're also doing mixing and mastering, and also now they're trying to more and more of them are trying to get into education and share their knowledge because
Workshops.
Yeah, because education is powerful, and the tools are one thing, but if you don't know how to use them, then you're very lost. Mm-hmm. So we opened SoundBridge Academy as a way to kind of gain short-term revenue, and it's grown to several thousand subscribers in a little over a year and a half, and we made it profitable pretty much immediately.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Well, thank you. Yeah. And so what we provide is 6 courses, and if you sign up at www.soundbridgeacademy.com, you get the first course, the Digital Audio Workstation, completely for free. You can use any digital audio workstation to take the course. We actually teach the courses in Ableton.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not SoundBridge?
Well, yeah. Well, reason being is there's already existing SEO for Ableton, so we thought we'd ride that. But what we do is we put the
Smart.
But what we did is we put the SoundBridge logo over the help menu options there, so you have our brand right there, like
Yes.
all the screens. That's how we watermarked it. No, but you can sign up, and it teaches you all the parameters, and everything we teach you is everything that SoundBridge would have, and every other DJ. Every other DAW, and we don't teach features, we teach techniques and processes, and that are applicable. So with this knowledge, you should be able to be very well rounded to use any plugin or software out there, because you know the knowledge behind the plugins and the software and how they work together to create sound.
Yeah.
So that's the first course. You can get that for free just for signing up. And then the second course is sound design, and we use Serum for that. And then the next one is audio processing, and then we have composition and sketching, and then arrangement and structures, and the final one is mixing and mastering. And if you do the certificate program, it's an $800 purchase, or you can finance it over 12 months for $80 a month. And it's essentially we're competing with Berkeley Online, DubSpot, and they charge approximately $12,000 per student. So we brought that price point down from $12,000 to $800. Or you could buy each individual course for $200, or finance it over 12 months for $20 a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And it's taught by the top guys in psytrance, and we're just now starting to get a collection of artists from many different genres, and very soon we're going to have a new product sector called the Artist Series, which are going to be the same price as an individual course, $200 or $20 financed over
12 months.
over 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
But this is going to be a real world walkthrough, not like masterclass, but an actual production, like a series production of a really well written song, and everything that it takes that goes through it. So these courses are going to be much more viewing a professional in a real world situation work, so that you can learn by watching them do their job, versus our all encompassing comprehensive courses that we have now, which pretty much teach
shows you how to do it anyway.
Everything. Yeah, exactly.
And
absolutely.
then you get to see somebody also a pro getting paid doing that. That makes a difference.
Because what we thought is, you first need a core foundation in the theory, and then you need to see how the theory is applied in the real world.
Exactly.
So this is the yin and yang of our two product categories.
I like
Oh, yeah. You read the book, but you have to know how to do it in real life.
Exactly.
And then once you start doing it yourself and then go back and see a professional, you're like, oh, I like how he tweaked that. I know why now.
And we live by the philosophy that we have over prepared you through common sense, simplistic, guided education, so that when you see these professionals use it, you're going to feel that it's going to that this transition of actually taking that theory and applying it is actually much easier than you ever thought.
Wow.
And we took a lot of time to pretty much break everything down into small individual steps that are easily digestible. And we start from the very foundations. Like the first thing you learn is how does alternating current work, and how your speakers are actually outputting the audio.
Wow.
And how, what the hell is that waveform you see on the computer screen, all the way through the mixing and mastering.
Wow.
Back in the day, you couldn't learn.
I personally paid a lot more than $800. As a Full Sail graduate, I'm a proud Full Sail graduate. But if I had options like this, 50, years ago when I wanted, initially got into this, like that would have been very much on my radar. Something like this.
No, absolutely. And the dynamics are changing so much now that traditional academia cannot keep up.
Oh yes, exactly. Oh my God! Like every week, there's something new.
There's something new, and unfortunately, the prices of the education are going up every single year. I mean, let's face it, the federal loan program has pretty much enabled anyone to take a loan from the government, and now the universities are taking advantage of that and raising their prices every year because they know that anyone that has a heartbeat that got accepted will get the loan.
Yeah.
And they're taking total advantage of that, and no one is saying anything about it. Well, I'm saying something about it, and I think it's absolutely wrong. And this is why I want to go to the most successful people that have made it in the private sector and have them teach you through real world application, real world experience, and show you how the professionals actually do it. And we want to give you that knowledge at the most reasonable price so you don't have to indebt yourself to these institutions.
Wow.
Boy, yeah, you
by the time you take
And I
all
never
the
got along
education,
with my professors, by the way.
yeah, you really said a mouthful with that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes, the education situation.
And there's no need. And just, you know, we're entering a, you know, entrepreneurs and business owners. You know, let's face it. There's TED Talks about AI. Routine jobs are going to be automated, and it's really we're going to enter a more portfolio based way of recruiting people
Already. LinkedIn.
And the
Alignable.
and the brand name of the university there are a lot of people that graduate from brand name universities that for whatever reason are just not, you know, able to produce still at the caliber. So it shows that, you know, that the brand name is just clearly not enough, and it's really up to you and your discipline and your patience and you as an individual that's really going to you know, make it or break it, essentially.
Oh yeah.
And you know, it's just sad to see, you know, so many kids, you know, getting themselves involved, you know, like $40,000-$50,000 worth of debt with the hope that some brand name is going to protect them or guarantee them some kind of happiness in a career, when really all the good careers are reserved for the people that are literally in their bedrooms, like, you know, like really pumping out, putting in the hours every day.
And it's all about the hours. Again, it's somebody who did go through that system with Full Sail, one of those very expensive places.
And I think Full Sail has probably more reasonable prices than a lot of the other options out there.
Than doing 4 years, you know,
Yeah.
at Berkeley and places like that.
Yeah, I think Berkeley's up to $58,000 a year now.
A year.
Yeah,
I think it's
four of those years.
$250,000.
Yeah.
It's
For
compared
4
to 800. If you're gonna bust your ass in music and really want to make it, you're gonna do this regardless. So just getting somebody getting a education at $800 compared to you could spend that money on equipment.
Yeah.
You know, and get
$10,000
further
on
ahead.
equipment?
Yeah. Take a
What?
fraction of that money that you would spend on one of those schools and take it in bag gear and get this program. All
you need is a laptop.
Exactly.
SoundBridge got everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Learn and do it.
This is right down our alley as well. This doesn't have to be expensive. Even the equipment that we talk about, we do have some expensive pieces, but most of the stuff we're talking about as well is affordable and made by startups like us. They're young people. They're in it. Where it doesn't have to be to break your bank like it did in the 80s.
No.
You know, it's 19.
No.
You know,
No.
we're out of that era now.
Yeah.
And it's portfolio based and it's based on what you do. And now with social media, you can show everything you do.
Yeah.
Who knows who's looking at your profile?
Yeah.
But if you're already ready with great material, I don't care who you are, you will get hired.
Yeah.
Like if you're putting out banging material in whatever genre you in, now nothing will stop you. Now you can't even hide. If you put it out there, people are just looking.
Yeah.
Just 24/7.
Yep.
So this is just amazing, and this is. I think we're running out of time, but wow.
Yeah.
Wait, this is
Mind blowing.
Yeah.
mind blowing, and I can't wait to spread the word even more. You just blew my mind.
Well, now we
with
know
that.
more.
Yes, and knowing more. I mean, we've kind of been keeping an eye on it, but man, just getting all the information at once now just really brings it around to us, and more information for the people that we're this podcast is dedicated to.
Yep.
Is that you don't have to go into debt. You can have great sounding audio with great sounding equipment
Yeah.
that you're not tens of thousands of dollars in debt for, that you can make money off of.
Yeah,
This
I
is
know.
the whole point.
And creatives have it so artists and musicians have it better than accountants and anyone that was running a routine job, because the AI is going to replace the accountants.
Exactly.
It's going to replace all these people. The only thing that AI can't replace is individual creativity, and businesses will always need art and media to market their products and services.
Yep.
So as stable as the business degree was 20 years ago, you might as well spend that time getting really, really good at music production, getting good at graphic design or some kind of multimedia art, so that you can at least freelance yourself to thousands, if not millions, of aspiring entrepreneurs out there.
Exactly. No matter where you're at.
You know,
even your location doesn't matter with the social media game and creating content.
SoundBridge is made up of people from all over the world. We work with people in Eastern Europe. We work with people in Latin America, like all over the world. And we've never had a centralized location. Everyone works from their bedroom, and they enjoy what they do, and they do what they love. And that's just how we roll. And that's why, you know, we're where we're at right now. But listen, I know we have to run. I just want to let you guys know that at SoundBridge Academy, we wanted to offer the 23DB Productions community a special 50% off any course or certificate program if they use coupon code 23DB at checkout. That'll get you 50% off any of our music production courses for both one-time purchases and monthly financing. And that will expire October 31st, 2018.
Wow.
So again, that's
Let's go.
Yep. So www.soundbridgeacademy.com. Buy any product, you get 50% off if you use 23DB.
Wow.
By
Let's
October
go,
31st,
guys.
2018.
Let's go.
Thank
We
you
still got a month.
Wow.
Let's go.
Yes. Thank you so much, Wake. You just blew our minds, and I can't wait to share this. I'll probably have to take that snippet out and just start sharing it right now, because I want our followers to get in on this.
We'll provide you with some banners and stuff so
Yeah.
you guys can push it on social media and stuff too. So
Let's go.
let everyone know.
Let's do it.
Fantastic. We
Sure.
will. Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody, for listening. Yes, you can listen for us we are the Art of Music Tech podcast. We're on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podbean. Just Google us and we'll show up, basically.
Yes.
Thank you again, Wake, for SoundBridge Academy. Oh my goodness, that's just mind blowing. And thank you everybody again for listening. I'm Fela, and it's
I'm
Dennis.
Dennis here.
All right, and with
Wake,
23DB
thanks for coming.
Productions.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been awesome.
Thank you, Wake, and we're out. Let's go.
Let's go, guys.
For more information of booking 23DB Productions, visit their website at 23dbproductions.com. Like and follow 23DB Productions at Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter for the latest work.